Hello students and welcome back. Today we are going to discuss about shell and kernel of an operating system. First of all, we know that an operating system works as an interface between the user and the hardware. But as operating system is working as an interface, so one part of the operating system is communicating with the user and another part is communicating with the hardware. So actually an operating system is divided into two parts, that is shell and kernel. The common operating system, mostly used operating system that we use, that is Windows operating system, it has embedded system with the shell and the kernel, means both are combined together. But in Linux operating system, we can observe these two parts properly. So let's talk about shell and kernel. The shell is the part of the operating system which actually communicates with the user. So it works as an interpreter which translates the instruction given by the user to the next level, that is to the kernel. So what are the functions or what are the things an shell do? They are, it receives or it gets the commands or instruction from the user, translate it to the machine language and pass the translated command to the kernel to solve the problem or to get something done. So kernel is the another part or the next level of the operating system which actually communicates with the hardware. Hardware means the CPU, memory and the peripheral devices which is connected throughout the CPU system or inside the CPU box. So this is the core part of an operating system and it actually communicates with the CPU in machine language. Okay, so it is the interface between the hardware and the application or whatever the instruction given by the user. So the role of the kernel is to manage the devices connected with the system, is to process the instruction given by the user, is to store the files, is to manage the memory. Also it can do the timer management, means how much time is required for each process. So these are the different functions carried out by the kernel. In earlier times, all these functions like process management, file management, memory management, device management, timer management, interrupt or event handling, means it may happen that sometimes both two or more programs are coming together in a single processing time. So the operating system must have a logic to handle those situations. So that is interrupt and event handling. So in some kind of operating system, all these tasks are performed or handled by a single kernel. This kind of operating system or this kind of kernel is known as monolithic kernel, because there is only one kernel to handle all these operations. And but nowadays to minimize the workload by a single kernel and to increase the efficiency of a computer system or increase the efficiency of the operating system, kernel is also divided into many segments. So different segments of the kernel look after different processes. Okay, so this kind of kernel is also called as microkernel. So hope you understand the topic that I have discussed today. So that's all for today's lesson. Thank you and have a nice day.